We got Blak Foks, and we also have Ahmed, aka Pops. That's what everybody calls him, Pops. So you hear me referring to him. So Blak Foks, where you from, and how'd you get into the music industry?
Yeah, I'm originally from Birmingham, Alabama. And basically with the music industry, I tell you like this, it's a secret society. You have to be invited in. So to make a long story short, I was invited in, and hey, here I am today.
Okay. All right. Pops. How long have you been in the industry? Let's start there.
I've been around the industry ever since hip-hop started. But in the music industry, prior to that, I used to doo-wop. I was part of a doo-wop group back in the early 60s,
Where you from,
Pops?
Pops?
I'm originally from New York.
Okay.
Right now, I'm living in Alabama, in Birmingham.
Gotcha.
But I've been around music for quite a bit. I first got introduced to hip hop. I was away for a while, incarcerated in a joint for a few years. And when I came home one year, my nephew, who was Grand Pooba, a Brand Nubian.
Okay.
They were then called what was it called? They had a different name. I'll think of it in a minute, but they was doing this rap, hip hop, which in the joints in the States, in New York State, you don't hear black music.
Right, you don't hear that radio
for 5 years. Right, for 5 years, we just listen to hillbilly stuff. So when I come out, they're telling me that they got a group, they don't record it, they're doing videos, Masters of Ceremonies. That's what their first name, Grand Pooba.
Okay.
And that's when I first got hip to hip hop. But since that time, my sons, Shaka Zulu, who was CEO of Disturbing the Peace, and Jeff Dixon, who was the CFO. They're part of Disturbing the Peace. And I've been working with them, running with them, and around the music, and ever since then.
All right. So, what do you currently do?
Well, I do whatever's necessary. For me, I mean, it's a music business, but I work if it's sweeping floors. That's gonna help my grandchildren and great grandchildren, have some wealth and eat and be able to go to college, and we build some generational wealth.
Right.
Then I do whatever's necessary. Right. But so I'm doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. What I like most important, what I do is I'm involved a lot in the Africa stuff, the work that we do in Africa. Luda's been to Africa a few times. We've all been there. In fact, Luda was the first hip hop artist from the United States to do a video in South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, that's great. What about you, Blak Foks? What you doing right now, man?
Well, my main responsibilities are I'm the Disturbing the Peace rep for the state of Alabama. So, I cover the whole state, as far as getting that music out there, making sure we spin it in the clubs, making sure, that DTP has a high awareness in the state of Alabama, Mississippi and all the way over. So, hey, I'm just,
that whole Delta Strip,
Oh yeah, just out there, man, grinding hard for the team, trying to make something happen, building that generational wealth. That's what it's all about.
On a little side note, we're just tossing these little side notes every now and again. Since you're from Alabama, okay, and that's like, that's like the birth of the blues movement, like Alabama, Mississippi area, you know what I mean, and things like that.
Don't ask me no real hard questions.
No, that's not real hard.
No, I'm messing with.
Like, how do you think, like, that? How has that shaped the hip hop scene? Like, how is the hip hop scene in like Alabama, and how has its roots in like blues or whatnot maybe influenced that?
Well, like when you're talking about the area and you're talking about the blues, and we can even incorporate rock and roll. It all come from black people anyway.
Right.
So as far as the music scene and how it's influenced down there, that's where it was birthed at. So of course, we nurturing it, trying to make it better than its current state. But as far as the state of hip hop in the South, it's progressing, but there's still a lot of areas that still need to be, discovered, and put out there, and just like, Columbus,
a lot of untapped resources out there.
Absolutely. So, like what me and, Pops are doing, hey, we out there, turning over every stone until we can find somebody. So, you know, that's also what got us here in Columbus today.
Right, right. Speaking of turning over stones, there was a couple of stones that were turned over. A couple of them came out clean. A couple of them, you know, were a little rough around the edges, had a couple little moss on them or whatnot. What was you guys' overall impression of last night, and if anything, did anything like necessarily stick out in your mind as far as an artist or just how Columbus represented as a whole?
Well, you know, like I don't want to get into, I guess, naming a particular artist right now because the showcase has so much time left in it. But I will speak on the I guess the state of hip hop in Columbus from the small amount of time I've been here. It's definitely, in my eyes, missing some unity, you know, and one of the artists kind of, you know, made the comment, hey, we're not like Atlanta. And after the show, she explained to me what she meant. How, like, for example, Atlanta seems to be together in the whole music industry. And she was kind of say, hey, you know, we up here hating on each other or whatnot. So I think what really needs to happen is that, you know, like, some forces up here need to come together and, you know, kind of figure out how to get away with the, I guess, quote unquote, the hate that's going on. Because, you know, if another city want to be like the way Atlanta is now, you know, at some point Atlanta decided they're gonna stop hating on each other. Because one thing about Atlanta, no matter, regardless of what, Atlanta, the streets of Atlanta, the general public is gonna support Atlanta artists. So that's one thing that you know, someone has to take lead and say, hey, you know, hey guys, let's get together, and girls, and let's unify this thing and make enough noise for the industry to come here.
Right, right. Do you think like the South as a whole has that unity type thing? Like if let's say like Alabama, do Mobile artists support Mobile artists, and you know what I'm saying, things of that nature? Or do you think that's like an Atlanta thing as far as like support?
No. Actually, it's starting to come around all over the South. You know, just some states, some cities, you know, is starting to do it faster than others. And I could definitely speak in Alabama and Birmingham in particular. We are definitely starting to, you know, gel together and, you know, try to create a movement, you know, together. So it's moving along the South pretty well too.
Gotcha. What about you, Pops? What did you think about last night? Let's start there.
You know, some places, like anything, some places develop faster and at a different pace than other places develop. A lot of it has to do with what your resources are. So you take New York, you take Atlanta, you take LA, you have a number of different radio stations, so a lot of the local artists get played. It's almost like, so you take a place like Columbus, you take a place like Birmingham, it's like you have 40, 50 artists, but you only really got 5 slots. And you fighting, the 40, 50 artists are fighting for those 5 slots to become known.
Right.
And then if you don't have multiple radio stations, if you only have one radio station, it creates a problem because